Hey fellow wood dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today we're discussing something I usually don't do. A huge outrage in the community. It's really huge after the publishment of the latest plans in regards to next season, full combat, per card, and so on balance changes that are planned. I discussed all the changes in this video, including legendary mods, enemy adjustments, per card changes, and so on. That's a long video with huge list of changes. And as well, this is not live yet, not even being tested yet on the public test server, so I will be testing those changes fully as soon as possible and live streaming it all. But now, what has happened? Look at number of comments under this video. 637 comments so far. A lot of them with number of upvotes like 115. And I will try to be unbiased here when commenting on the topic, but it's truly impossible to be fully unbiased, so some kind of bias always is there, but I'm trying to be objective. First one, they're not rolling dice, they're running this through ChatGPT, and I was thinking about it. Is that really the case? Is it possible? As when I was looking at those changes, like for example, machine gun damage changed from 43 to 42, that's less than 3% change in the damage. I will not be even able to tell the difference unless, like, whenever I do testing in Fallout, and I do a lot of testing, to tell if there is damage difference when I'm testing weak effects, like 5% or less, I need to record it, I need to repeat the test, I need to double check as I cannot feel it. Under 5% change, I cannot feel. So why would they do that, I was thinking. Maybe it is ChatGPT, but that's not yet convincing argument. Let's scroll down. And we take a look at changes in weight, adjustments in weight for various grenades. And it may be questionable, why would you need a slight change like that for blast mine that about no one is using, but that's still not a proof. But then you go to Drostos. Why would you touch that if that's human doing? If you are not familiar, that's not any type of a grenade or anything. It is a specific stone used for a daily, only during the daily. You don't really use it in your inventory. You don't really keep it in your inventory. It's just there when you start the daily, you toss this stone, you finish daily, it's no longer there. So why would you change this way? Doesn't make any sense. So I'm sure whoever was doing it, they use AI to help with rebalancing. Is it good, bad thing? Good, bad? I don't really know. I'm not judging if it's good or bad to use AI to support your efforts. I did try AI a couple times when checking nodes to sort it out for me in order of changes, find out the most impactful, the biggest changes by percentage value. I was using AI for that to do it faster myself in the past. So I'm not saying AI generally is bad, but that's a clear sign for me. That's not human doing. No one would ever adjust the weight of the rock, a piece of rock in game for no reason that is used in one daily and one daily only. So that's one. This outrage, those comments, I would say this one is justified. Maybe not ChatGPT, but some form of AI for sure. There is a lot of outrage about ultra sight ammo being changed. Yeah, I'm not a big fan that it will be only craftable. I can understand Bethesda logic behind it, but for me, the biggest problem with no ultra sight ammo drops, enemies will be dropping instead a mixed ammo that mess up inventories and add so much inventory management. I would prefer if they would just drop non-ultra sight version of the ammo for the weapon you are using, just non-ultra sight. That would be better. That's gonna be messy. In the same time, it's only a proposed changes, so those are a subject to change. It can all still change. And I feel this sentiment more consistent and intuitive, which means nerf. Like for a lot of stuff there is, but that's honestly about patch in entirety. There is a lot of balancing. That's not just straight up nerf or buff for things. There is a lot of balancing. I cannot really tell exactly if it's a good thing or not until I will be able to play it on the test server. Honestly, it's too many changes going on top of each other to judge entire patch without testing it. The game has become 90% about managing inventory due to lack of space and changing builds around with every update. And for what? There is no new endgame content. I'm losing interest rather quickly. So that's true. We need more endgame content, although they already announced December is a huge patch, so I'm expecting some new, probably endgame content too, will be included. I cannot wait what that is. And this patch that is coming with next season supposed to prepare the game to drop a big patch in December. So if it's necessary, it's necessary. I don't know what the December patch is to judge on it, but one correction to this comment. The game always was about inventory management. It's inventory hoarder survival. Fallout was always about that. Another comment, I don't fully agree. These heavy gunner changes straight up look like the worst ones out of all the weapon perk changes they did so far. And this is 100 upvotes on this comment. How are you gonna reach those 10 to 20 stacks with weapons like Cremator and Plasma Caster? Answer is you are not. Just to quickly address that, with the new perk card system that was started from Onslaught system, Onslaught mechanic, it's not about weapon class anymore. It's about weapon use case. So weapons like Plasma Caster, you run with reverse Onslaught, the same way like you run snipers. You no longer run with specific heavy gunner perks. Those are being retired and replaced with heavy, high ammo capacity weapon perks. Also, those ammo changes are awful by making it so ultrasight ammo can no longer drop. I rather keep the old stats, no buff on the prime receivers, than having ultrasight ammo no longer drop and instead get some random useless ammo. So that's what I have problem with. Random useless ammo. What I already said. I would rather have nothing than this random ammo added to my inventory whenever I use option loot all. Especially heavy random ammo. And going back to the Plasma Caster Cremator story and comparison with other heavy guns, we need to take a quick look on the patch notes again. So look at that. You are not being shafted. Cremator, okay, you are not using heavy gunner perks anymore because they do not exist, but it's going from 100 fire impact to 140. That's 40% buff. The same about explosion, fire per second, all of it going up. So we are not being shafted. You are being buffed directly into the single shot heavy gun instead of using a heavy gunner perk. So it's good for you actually. If you are running Cremator, that's overall buff, not nerf. I just want to be clear about this one. That's a buff for the Cremator builds. Especially if you look, we are talking about high ammo capacity. So Gatling Plasma will be able to get those stacks, but Gatling Plasma is receiving 10% nerf to its base damage. So that's opposite direction. So Gatling Plasma will still receive overall a slight buff thanks to new perk and mechanics, but it's only very slight buff to it as the base damage is going down. In the same time, again, Plasma Caster is receiving base damage boost. So no, I disagree with first part of the comment. The patch will be good for single shot heavy guns. I agree with the second part though. And yeah, laser carbine nerf out of the sudden doesn't make any sense. I have no idea. Probably AI made a mistake here. This sentiment, getting exhausting, having to change every build, every part, I do absolutely understand. I do those builds for my channel, so we can say I'm doing builds for work, and I still cannot catch up with updating my builds. It's a little bit overwhelming, but that's supposed to be last patch. So finally we update the builds, and there shouldn't be drastic changes after next season. So that should be the finalization of perk and combat system. Light machine gun ammo change from 308 to 45. Yeah, I don't know what's that for. That doesn't make any sense. There are only two weapons using 308 in the game, the sniper and light machine gun. If we change light machine gun out of it, only sniper left, at that point you can just retire the whole 308 ammo option, which is not good. Keep it. That doesn't make sense to change it, especially to mess up with people that like LMG and already sitting on huge stockpile of ammo for it. They were thinking they are ready for years to come, and out of the sudden their weapon will stop accepting ammo. That doesn't make sense. I hope this one will get reverted. Honestly, I don't want this change to go through. For 45 ammo, semi-automatic and automatic, something like Elder's Mark, why would that be the same ammo for light machine gun? That is completely different weapon. Light in name does not at all mean it's a rifle. It's not even close. Therefore, doesn't make sense. I hope this one will not make it true. The nerf to twisted muscles, it's too severe. This nerf is too severe out of the sudden. And another comment about Cremator Plasma Caster, I already addressed that, but that's again 78 upvote. It's not the case. Those two particular guns are receiving a hefty buff. They will do more damage than now without the need to equip the heavy gunner perks. That's a buff. And last comment for this video. Feel like the negatives outweigh the positive on this one, someone is saying here. And I would rather Ultra Sight ammo get a reduced return or less chance of getting ammo back than bloating the loot screen with a different ammo. So the sentiment, again, that's important for people, as you can notice, for me too. Random ammo is bad. Increasing grenade weight at the same time, they remove the one good effect from Nuka grenades. Again, yeah, that's very bad. Reducing the effect of wall penetration from Nuka grenades, it's really bad, unless in the same time, magically, Bethesda will figure out how to patch out enemies getting stuck in the walls, as those explosions that go through walls are the only way to unblock some events, some quests, and so on, when your enemies are stuck, and your objective is to get them, but they are inside the wall. So that's really bad. The heavy weapon perk changes prevent half the heavy weapon category even getting a boost. Again, that's a fallacy of looking back into perk cards being attached to a weapon class, which Bethesda already went away several patches ago, and that's just finalization. The weapon and the build determination is based on the use case, not purely weapon class. That's why we are getting new perks for high ammo capacity guns. The same sentiment about Plasma Casta coming back. They shouldn't be benefiting from this new perk. They shouldn't. They're just supposed to use other perks for single shot weapons. So many of the perks are getting their effects halved. Not sure what that means. Let's hope Bethesda take to some constructive feedback for this one. I'm sure they will. There are always changes before the patch goes into life, the extent of which we do not know yet. And as well, reversing that other way around, we tend to do the same thing. You can tell by those comments. Before even touching the patch to have a feel how which weapon perform, there is such a strong opinion already that Plasma Caster is getting nerfed, which is not the case, and more other things. I cannot wait to test it, honestly. I'm not fully happy with all those changes, as you can tell, but there is a lot good in it. How it feels overall, I need to test. And that being said, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.